Three, two, one. We are live with one of the most sought after Instagram models that we've been trying to get a hold of for so long. And we've also somehow got her to be on the cover of the next RockstarsDream Magazine, Miss Peyton Drew. Welcome aboard the RockstarsDream podcast, also known as the RDP.
Hi, thank you for having me.
It's an honor. It's an honor. I know you're busy. You're actually on a photo shoot right now. Is that correct?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Well, one of the things that we try to do here at the RDP is get to know some of the models. Now, RockstarsDream is really about getting to know models, rock stars, entrepreneurs, badasses, hearing their story real quick, and then maybe a little bit about them. So when people see them in our magazine, on our videos, or even on our podcast, they know a little bit about their story.
So my story.
Yeah. So. Well, before we get into that, one of the fun things that we do on our podcast is basically have little, 10-question, little, real fast shot out of a barrel. Who the hell are you? Real quick answers, so the audience knows you right away. Is that cool? Can we do that?
Sure. Sounds fun.
I mean, you don't seem like you're too nervous.
A little bit.
Okay, real quick. This is basically shotgun. Whatever comes to your mind, just a quick answer. Because if anybody watches the first minute of this podcast, trust me, they'll know who you are after these questions.
Okay, perfect.
Okay, real quick. You're a dream girl. You're going to be on the cover of the magazine. We're so excited. Real quick here. Are you a woods girl or a beach girl?
Woods, definitely.
Oh, good answer. Dogs or cats?
Dogs.
Man. Favorite instrument? Oh, we didn't get into that. I know you're a musician.
Yes, piano.
No, you're a classically trained pianist. Is that correct?
Yes, and vocals.
We'll get into that in a second too. Okay. Perfect date. Where do you go?
I would say something pretty laid back, like a picnic or something, like maybe wine tasting and then putting out a blanket and having some wine and then watching the sunset in the mountains or something like that. So
most of our audience is men, so write this down. This is how you date a dream girl. Yes. favorite band right now?
Favorite band, I would say, can I say an artist?
Yeah.
Can we be an artist? Okay. Lana Del Rey.
Good answer. Good answer. So far one strike. No judges. Favorite movie right now?
I would say Les Mis. It's a musical.
Jeez, don't even know it.
No.
I don't know.
I'm a huge theater person, so Les Mis for sure.
Gotcha. Okay. Action movies or horror movies?
Maybe horror movies.
Ooh, okay. Now, we've been watching you shoot guns, do all kinds of crazy stuff on Instagram. On a scale of 1 to 10, how much do you love America?
A 10.
You're supposed to say over 10. So
I wanted to say over 10, but I didn't want another strike.
So she should not be on the cover? Oh, I'm sorry.
It's like a million out of 10, honestly.
Beautiful. Okay. That gives us a little quick synopsis of who you are, a little bit about your background. So get right into it. Tell the audience, tell the people watching, either they're listening on iTunes or whatnot, who are you? And tell us a little bit about your journey becoming an international model, actress, musician, the works.
Okay, perfect. So I'm going to start with, I grew up in Indiana, a small town of like 1,500 people. No one's ever heard of my small town probably, but I take a lot of pride in it. I used to hate it and then I moved away from it and I actually miss it a lot. But yeah, I grew up on a farm doing, country things like shooting guns, going fishing and stuff like that. I grew up actually as a tomboy. So It's kind of, I've had to glow up a little bit. So But so I started there, and then my senior pictures actually got me started with modeling because I was more of a musician, and I never really thought about modeling because my older sister was a model. And then my senior pictures, I posted them online, and I started getting all these hits and messages. And I actually did over 100 photo shoots in my first year.
Oh.
So yeah, I was just like, it just spiraled from there, you know? So I kind of just quit everything else and did this full time. And here I am. I've traveled all over the country and to a couple different countries, and I've been published and all kinds of stuff. So I'm just going with it, you know? It's been
I mean,
awesome.
I don't know what that feeling's like to get paid to just travel around and get people to take photos of you. Like, what is that like? Is that the dream life? Is that the ultimate dream? Are you living the dream? Are you trying to get towards something else? Tell us a little bit about that feeling for us people who have no idea what that feels like.
So it's pretty inspiring, and it kind of opens your, like, you learn so much about the industry and about your craft and everything, but you also learn a lot about life and like your perspective and your place in life when you get to travel and see other people's points of views and stuff like that. I would definitely say that just by itself is a dream. You know, if you get to travel around and do something you love, that right there is a dream for anybody. So yeah, it's pretty amazing, and I'm very fortunate, and I always let my following and my fans know how lucky I am to have them like supporting me. Otherwise, I wouldn't be where I am, you know.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah.
When we were talking, you said coronavirus really screwed up the modeling world. Can you tell me a little bit about how you adapted, what you were able to do, and maybe some of the things that there are a lot of models who look up to you, especially in our magazine and in the Rockstars Dream family. So what did you do, or maybe what do you recommend to people who maybe modeling was their full-time income and all of a sudden they had to like survive in a different way?
So, yeah, it kind of really screwed everything up for a lot of people, you know, in so many different ways. But yeah, obviously people weren't hiring for advertising and stuff like that. Like they're not booking talent to do like the advertisements, the campaigns, because nobody is open. So there's no point in doing that kind of stuff. So I downloaded TikTok actually, and I've just been doing those. And like I love that platform because I feel like it really shows personality. Because it's hard to see as a model. People just see your face and your body, and they just see like just a picture, you know, and they don't really get to see your personality. And a lot of people want, you know, relatability nowadays, and they want to connect and engage with the person that they're, you know, looking at through social media. So I feel
Makes
like
sense.
TikTok really helped with that part. And then also I downloaded and created an OnlyFans account as well, just for the time being. And it's actually been really fun too, because people want to see like your exclusive stuff. And yeah, so that's the two things that I've done since this whole thing happened. So
Wow. And you basically can work from anywhere, right? You don't have to,
yes.
you're not tied to any one location. And it sounds to me like you jump from Indiana to, I guess you're coming to Pittsburgh soon. You go to LA,
Yeah.
you're all over.
Yeah.
You just hop on a plane and go to where the work's at, right?
Yes, I do. And that's another thing. California was a little more strict about the lockdown for a longer period of time. So I was fortunate. I was only out of work for maybe a month or so because I would travel back home and other places and get work, you know, elsewhere where they were a little more lenient about the rules and stuff like that. So, and I was always safe as well. So I don't want to like make anyone upset or anything. I was always safe about it. So that's good.
Now you're going to be on the next issue's cover. I'm excited as hell. I know we're going to do an American feel. Has the shoot already been shot? And if so, can you tell us a little bit about what it's going to look like?
Yes, it has not been shot yet, but it's going to be with a white backdrop, obviously, and then with an American flag like covering, kind of a sexy glamour type pose. And then the inside, I'm going to do probably a mix of maybe 3 or 4 more of that vibe, maybe with a different, like with a location background. I know I need to have like a plain one for the cover, but maybe like a different background and then a few other pictures, maybe some birthday pictures because it is my birthday month. So maybe some sexy like birthday cake or something, champagne, something like that. So
Nice. And
yeah.
you also get an article in the magazine since you're on the cover. What are you going to be writing about? You didn't even send it to us yet, so I didn't have anything to
Yeah.
base this off of yet.
Yeah, I'm still working on it. I'm kind of a perfectionist about writing. So it's basically just gonna be like my life story and stuff like that. So, and I actually put out something like I didn't know if you wanted it in like a question Q&A type format or if you just want a straight article. So I did put something out if there was any questions that people had, you know, about me or my life or anything. I could definitely add some stuff in if people are curious about anything. So.
Uh,
Been so
Last
comfortable.
question. Last question before we go to a quick little 5-second break. But
Mhm.
how did you grow your Instagram? You have a massive following. Is that where your major base is at on Instagram, or do you have a big follow on YouTube or other places? And how did you do it?
So my biggest platform is probably Instagram. I don't know. I just did a bunch of shoots. Actually, this photographer I worked with, he's really known for growing following. So I worked with him a few times. We've collabed and stuff, and that really made my following go up. And once you get more, I was stuck at like 12,000 for a long time. Like I was getting frustrated and I was just stuck. And I shot with him and I got like 4,000 to 6,000 followers within a couple days. And then once there's more engagement and activity on your page, you get on the explore page and people share your stuff and it just is spiraling from there. So just the initial like getting more followers and then it just builds from that, you know. So
Are there
that's
any
kind of what happened. So
are there any photographers that you recommend other women to look up? Because we work with a bunch of photographers. Obviously, they're mostly in Pittsburgh, but we're kind of branching out. So anybody you recommend that you want to give a shout out to?
yes. So Clear Shadow Photography. He's like
We
my
hear
best
that.
friend as well. He's amazing.
We see him do a lot of work.
Yes, he is so good and he's the nicest guy ever too. So and he makes you feel comfortable. That's another thing. Um and then I would say Tyson Gardner, Ty Guard Photos. I do a lot of work with him too. So and he's
I,
amazing.
I believe you've submitted a few photos from that, so that's probably what makes me ring a bell on that one too.
Yes. Mm-hmm. Yep, that's
Well,
probably my favorite. So.
we're gonna have to look them up, but real quick, we're gonna take a quick little 5-second break here, and here's a little message from one of the other Dream Girls.
Hey everybody, this is Julia Lynn, aka The Dime Piece. You may have seen me on IWC Wrestling or Rockstars Dream Magazine as one of the Rockstar Dream models. Now, let me tell you about one of the photographers that's featured in this amazing magazine. His name's Al Reed and his photography company is called Photographic Adventures by Al Reed. He's one of the most well-known photographers for boudoir here in the Pittsburgh area. He's been photographing for over 50 years, and I'll tell you what, he definitely is an amazing photographer because he did one of my first photo shoots a couple years ago. Definitely check him out and tell him the Dime Piece sent ya.
Beautiful. Now we're back. And anybody watching this live, actually people are watching on Facebook right now, on YouTube, you probably are confused by that. Basically, this is going to be a quick little advertisement for some of the businesses. Now, everybody who's in this magazine is an affiliate. So they share out the link and they become basically an affiliate of the entire magazine. And they get businesses to advertise on our podcast, in the magazine, in our video series. So we want to give a shout out to everybody who's advertised with us thus far and moving forward. And one of which is obviously we have Peyton Drew here, who is a actress, musician, international model, Dreamgirl, the works. And she's part of the affiliation. So anybody who advertises through her, she gets paid for it. We want to make sure that the Dream Girls do make money from all this. So going back to it, you talk about the journey. You talked to me a little bit about, I think it was the other day, or maybe you shared it on Instagram. There are some scary things that happen from being a model or even someone who's sought after. Probably some creepsters out there who get in your DMs. Tell me about what you've seen or what you've heard, or maybe, you know, what probably just happened, you know, who knows?
Yes. So I don't know. I've been in this industry for 8 years and I grew up really sheltered and naive, kind of just trusting everybody because I'm from the Midwest, you know. So that was a big hurdle for me. And I learned very quickly, especially since moving out here and just traveling to different areas, that you just can't trust people. You have to like value yourself, you know, in your image and your name, because no one else is going to value it and protect it like you can. So if people try to manipulate you and tell you things to, as a woman, we all have insecurities, you know. Some people like to play on that and take advantage of that. They see it as a weakness and they manipulate you. And then they try to get away with something, like whether it's a scam for money, whether they're trying to get you like to do something you don't want to do, like that you don't want your image to portray. Mm-hmm. I've been in countless situations like that, and there's a lot of things to look out for. I would say, like through the internet too, you know, like a lot of things have been going virtual. Like it was already going more virtual nowadays because of all the platforms and all the technology we have now. But then the coronavirus kind of just made it go way more virtual, you know. So I had an encounter the other day. It was like a casting call for a catalog company or something. And yeah, there was some weird stuff that he was asking of me, and it was just not a good situation. And you just have to put your foot down, you know, like you just have to value yourself enough to know what your limits are, what you're comfortable with, and to not ever abandon that for something temporary, which could be money, fame, anything like that, you know.
Real quick, can I jump in there? What type of questions? Because my mind goes in many different ways, but for the audience out there, give me an idea. Like, what the hell did you get asked?
So on that one, it was basically he was asking me to do, like I was doing posing on a Skype or a Zoom call, sorry. And I was doing some posing stuff. I'm like, okay, this is normal, you know? And then he started asking me to like raise my shirt up more, go down more and stuff like that. I'm like, and I told him like 5 different times I wasn't comfortable and that's not what I'm trying to do. If this is a bikini shoot, why would you need to see other things, you know?
Yeah.
And if it doesn't make sense, it probably isn't right. And if it sounds too good to be true, it probably is. Those are things that I've learned. And when you tell someone that you're not comfortable with something, if they still continue to push for it, that's not a reputable professional place to work for or person to work for.
Makes sense. So some people really cross the line, even if maybe they were recommended by someone, and I'm sure you work with what I've realized is the modeling world is a lot smaller than you think. Like people, if you do something bad, it's going to travel. If you do something great, it's going to travel, right?
Yeah. Yes, definitely. Yeah, so I just feel like I'm responsible to let other models know, because it is kind of a tight knit group, you know, like through social media we all kind of know each other, and I just feel like it's my responsibility, or you know, it's all of our responsibility to keep each other safe, because in this day and age as a woman, you know, it's getting crazy. It already was crazy, but with social media and all this stuff at our fingertips, it's even worse, you know. So you have to be extra careful.
What we talk about at Rockstars Dream is basically dream girls are entrepreneurial, confident, sexy, and proud of themselves. So when you hear the word dream girl, or maybe even look at the brand of Rockstars Dream lingerie and all that, you're on the cover. So, what does it mean to you to be asked to be like the main dream girl? Like what do you try to aspire to be like, and maybe be a role model for other girls? Like, what are some of the attributes?
So I would say, being a rock star's dream girl is basically exuding just women empowerment and confidence, and in a world that's been, in this industry especially, it's very superficial. So I feel like, I don't know, like it's more important to exude those things, those qualities, not just look the part, but be the part and actually be a good person, and just be confident and have stay true to your values and stuff like that. So that's just what I feel like from the inside out. That's just what I feel with this brand,
Mm-hmm. Love it. Yeah. And so I don't know what you're doing with the business and all that, but that basically it's all about being entrepreneurial. It sounds to me your whole life is entrepreneurial. What does that mean? Like, rock stars to us are not just musicians and even models. It's people who are really creating that vision of them, that they've had in their mind, and they're bringing it to life. It's their own life. It's their own freedom. So I love the entrepreneurial mindset. Is there anything you can add on about maybe becoming your own boss, starting your own business, and doing whatever the hell you want, whenever you want, with whomever you want?
Yeah, definitely. I've been running this. My mom kind of helped me at the beginning because I was only like 18 when I started. So, but yeah, I've been running this as a business for 8 years now, and I've learned so much. And I never thought about it before, but I actually can see myself running a business someday, like a actual business of my own, just because of all this experience that I've gotten through the process. So, and yeah, it's very awesome to be in charge of your own life and your own happiness and your own career and all that stuff. So it's very empowering.
Couple things on your bucket list. I know you're really just, it sounds to me like your modeling career is really taken off. It probably takes a long time to meet the right people and, get your foot in the right spots. So people say, oh, she's reliable. She'll show up. She'll do a great job. So where are you going from here? What's the next steps from here?
So I would like to get a little more into my music, just because I feel like I've kind of put it on the back burner since, I was 18. I've done it here and there on the side. I even got my own recording software, and I'm actually teaching myself my software at the moment. So, because I've actually worked with producers on the side here and there. but we kind of clashed on styles and like contracts and stuff like that. So just taking the matters into my own hands. I've always been all about that, you know, because then you have ultimate say of your projects and your creativity and like what you want to do, you know. So I'm actually just working on that at the moment, and then doing shoots just like normal. So, and just seeing where it goes, you know.
Nice. Yeah, I guess
it's a fun ride.
Yeah, I'm sure you're in the United States most of the time, but I'm sure you get offers to go to Brazil and all over, right?
Yeah, I've been to Germany and Paris, France, actually, for shoots. And I'm looking to travel. I might be going to Jamaica this September. So yeah, I'm excited if that happens. That'd be awesome.
I mean, a model will run around the United States, different countries. That's why you learn to shoot. I love girls who learn to shoot. So tell me any advice for those girls out there. A lot of them are coming to us and saying, well, with everything that's happened in the world, I want to learn how to shoot. And, you know, like we're talking to models all over. And it's kind of funny that the chaos is creating, you know, they're putting down their mace and saying, hey, give me a gun now. So you probably love it, right? You grew up in Indiana. You go to shooting ranges. What type of guns you got? Tell us a little bit about that, because a lot of guys are probably going nuts right now.
Yeah, I can't really talk about some of them that I have, but I have a Glock, I have a Beretta, and I have a Bursa, and those are probably my three favorite. I actually just went shooting on Friday. I need to get polished up again just because of all this crazy stuff, you know. But I think that right there, just taking just having it just in case, you know, it's not that you'll ever have to use it. I actually want to get my concealed carry as well, just because I travel around everywhere. You never know who you're dealing with. The other day I had a road rage incident, and like some guy got out and was banging on my door and trying to open my door up, and it was really scary. So as a woman, you know, like I just feel like that's so important, you know, that's actual feminism, is to protect yourself and be kind of in charge of your own fate, you know.
Yeah,
that's everything to me. So I'm really passionate about the 2A. So
love it. That's guys are gonna go crazy when I take that clip and put it everywhere. So anything else you want to say about your TikTok, your Instagram, people to follow you? I mean, I know the magazine's coming out. I'll be sharing that information for days that's leading up to the magazine and when it releases. But anything else you want to say to people?
Yeah, you can just follow me on Instagram, TikTok. I mean, I use Facebook sometimes. Peyton Drew, and my handle's at the bottom, I think. So, yeah, I think that's pretty much everything.
And where are you at right now? You say you're in Indiana, or you LA? I'm
in California right now. Yeah. So I live in like the Palm Springs area, but I travel to LA. It's only like an hour and a half away, so I travel all the time.
And the shoot you're doing right now, what's it for? Is it for a company that you could talk about? Like, tell us a little bit about that. You know, what you do for different companies or anything, or is it for yourself? Who are you working for now?
Yeah. So actually the shoot today is for the magazine.
Nice. I didn't know that.
Yeah, that's why I was like, oh, it kind of works out, you know, I'm going live with you, so that'd be, you know, awesome. But yeah, I'm actually doing that, and then I have a shoot planned this weekend for another magazine, but it's not for the cover. But yeah, it's gonna be awesome. I do a lot of like bikini companies too. Oh, I love that one. I ordered that right away.
Yes. So this was our first one. It was a major success, and so this is Peyton Drew, guys. By the way, right in the back. This is a total surprise. You had no idea it was gonna be on the back, right?
I didn't. I was so happy. I was like, oh my gosh. And
so we have her. She got the full page, obviously. So this next magazine, she'll be on the cover, and a lot more people are going to see the next issue. We got a lot more advertisers. And I know, Peyton, I don't know if you went over the tutorial and all that stuff, but anybody who does reach out to you to become part of the magazine or on this podcast, advertisements, whatever, you just share a link out, and then that way you get compensated for it. So I'll share with that information with you later on.
Okay. Awesome.
So great stuff, Peyton. It's been an honor. You wouldn't believe, everybody at the office, we all have a crush on you. We're excited to see the magazine, and you know, keep doing what you're doing because it's awesome.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
And reach out to her, follow her Instagram and these TikToks. I'm not a big TikToker, but I'm going to watch these now. So thanks so much.
Okay.
Everyone out there, keep living the dream.
Hi there, my name is Mike Fallat and I'm the editor-in-chief of RockstarsDream Magazine. As you can tell, it's a magazine for men. A bunch of information, cool articles that any man would want to read about. So if you want to advertise in this magazine, I got a couple cool things that I want to show you. It's not just advertising in this magazine, but also on our podcast and our video series. If you receive this link, there's a great chance that it came from one of the Dreamgirls. And that's what we call the entrepreneur models that are featured inside this magazine. So if you do sign up with us, they are going to get compensated for it. So if you look down below, that's the price that we're offering. And what you get is a one-page full ad in the next month's issue. In addition, you can be a guest on our podcast. And then the other part of it is you're going to get a video created by one of the Dreamgirls advertising your business. Now that video is an asset. You can use it, but we can also use it in our podcast series and our video series also forever. So you get a lot of traction and a lot of attention. Because this is such a new magazine, is if you sign up soon, and by soon I mean very soon, we will offer an ad, probably a quarter-page ad, for the next 11 issues of our magazine. Now this is growing. There are tons of people who are referring this magazine out, many different people who are a part of it, many writers, so we want you to be a part of it. Now, you'll notice that it is a magazine for men. So if you are trying to advertise to that market, we are the place to advertise. If you join, there's a very good chance you're going to be dealing directly with me. So I'll answer any questions that you might have. Click the button below, get started, and start living the dream.